Hogaak versus Heroic.
So here we are in the semi-final.
This feels like it should be incredibly Heroic favored.
You think they can get something bigger than a Hogaak and just not care about a Hogaak and be faster?
There's just not very much removal coming out of Hogaak, which is normally a great
He
sign
played
for
Abrupt
Heroic.
Decay against me to surprising effectiveness, considering it didn't have very many targets post-board, but Boromir very good against him, and Abrupt Decay very good answer to Boromir, I guess.
Though, admittedly, in this hand, it looks like Resto
Doesn't have red mana.
5 and has a terrible hand.
Has no red mana, no more white auras, so presumably 3 red auras in hand, or even worse, some planes.
Could be multiple strands.
Could be multiple strands, yeah.
Looks like some combination of red auras, planes, and strands. I would hazard a guess it's mostly red auras because you probably don't keep the hand otherwise.
Left one on top with Rebel Belt, which means the other ones are even on top.
What do you keep on top in that position? Especially when you're about to commune. It's an Insidious Roots.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
I guess it could be a lot with Troll. I'm not sure how it's ordered.
It would be Roots left on top, I would think. We put it in the graveyard.
We took a lot with Troll. And then
We took a lot of this Troll. What was the idea of blocking forever? Presumably the flying enchantment is in this Auras deck somewhere.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Another planes, the literal worst
Does
possible
Resto
play.
remember Companion exists?
No, we're holding up 4 paths.
I literally made this list.
Well, we do have a postcard in this. I like this.
I've gotten insider information. All red cards in hand.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, there's
a Orzhov card in hand.
True.
Well, this is one for Hogaak to steal.
Certainly.
Though, it actually does still look fairly plausible that you win if you draw like Rugged Prairie or...
Yeah. Draw some red mana and spam into white enchantments, and you're in a good spot. Okay.
There's Mountain. There's... Oh, that's not a great one here. We do get attack through, but we're hoping for Cartouche.
Yeah, just has to have...
We're obviously jamming Luris out. And always putting an aura we drew on Luris if we drew one.
Okay, Spirit Dancer is interesting. So presumably we have a good red aura to put on Spirit Dancer next turn.
It seems...
Discard Iona is
no.
interesting, but there's no Dread Return in grave. Could be in hand.
Likely.
Here's that's a dredge. That's a dredge right out of Legacy or something. Dredge my grave troll, reveal a Dredge Return and 2 Narcomoebas. Surveil twice.
I don't know how often Legacy surveils twice after that. I understand the sentiment.
So we're just gonna make Iona. Are we making Iona on white here, and allowing them to play one aura at a turn?
It's obvious that it's red.
Just because they're bound to have red cards in hand.
We basically know there's red cards, considering they didn't.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And then Drew Mountain plays Convenient Target.
But white does stop Luris.
Yeah.
Which might matter.
Also styles.
We put it on white.
Did choose white.
I think that I'd probably put it on white just because I'm afraid of like bodyguard loops. Though admittedly those 2 colors of creature in place. It's not as good.
we have
forcing Resto to play off of one land here.
Yeah, so presumably we have a red aura, which draws 2 cards here. And we go
and
from
if
there.
it's a red source, can't be blocked by flying.
Okay,
So
that's
very
pretty good.
big.
Target is Shram or Spirit Dancer?
It's on
It's
Shram.
Shram, interesting.
Very interesting. I assume if Resto draws a red source here, they didn't though. No attack.
No attack with the 6/4 that can't be blocked.
Oh.
No, regenerate.
It can. Because Lot Troll block regenerates if you have a creature
yeah. So they just would have traded. Oh no, not traded because it's first strike, but they wouldn't have done any damage.
Well, no, because regenerate removes from combat, so it's a free block that doesn't trade.
Yeah, I mean it forces them to tap a mana your guy can't block anyway, but yeah, not exciting either way.
Quite bad.
Looks like Gak is probably going to win.
Yeah, just coming in for only 14 here if they attack with everyone, so just Iona halfway to lethal. So they must draw.
So Hammerhand into a second Hammerhand wins. We play Tillinolly's Crown.
That's trample.
That is trample. If we draw red source, Resto wins here. Almost certainly.
So we see 6 toughness, so it's only 3 damage.
Okay, what is it? Hammerhand wins. Right?
Hammerhand makes the troll not block. Oh!
It doesn't win? It
makes the troll.
It goes on the Spirit Dancer and makes
toughness? No.
I think you needed to put it on Spirit
Dancer. Yeah, I think Spirit Dancer was probably better, but maybe it doesn't matter. There's 3 toughness attacking for 10.
No, it's not lethal.
Not lethal.
I think if you put it on Spirit Dancer, it's lethal though.
If you go crown Hammerhand on Spirit Dancer, I think you might win.
No, I think that.
I think we should have started stacking on our Spirit Dancer.
No, just Hammerhand on the Spirit Dancer at the very end always wins.
Yeah,
because there's.
So in that case, Spirit Dancer gets in for what, 2 or 3?
It gets in for 3.
3.
Okay.
But it does reduce the power of Shram by 1.
Okay, so the options, Tom, are you put your creatures on Spirit Dancer, and SRAM does 9 damage, which is lethal. Or you double block SRAM, it gets.
But what about 1 and 1?
Damage through.
Oh, it has menace.
It gets 3 damage through.
It has menace, yeah. So yeah, that was an onboard win actually.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the terrible draw where you don't have red mana, hope springs eternal for games 2 and 3, I guess.
I suppose that would seem like a pretty medium draw to Gak.
Yeah, they didn't make a Hogaak, but they did make an Iona.
They made an Iona on turn 5.
Interesting.
How is the Clerics versus Soldiers matchup going? I suppose I should look.
Okay. Resto keeps a 7. No, Resto keeps a 6. C keeps a 7. Okay, we have red and white mana. No hoplite. Or
no basic.
We forwent the hoplite. Yeah, presumably no basics at all. So maybe just 1 land.
Presumably 2 land.
Oh, we do have a Battlefield Forge. Tapping for red seems wrong.
Trying to cast Spirit Dancer.
Okay, so we are, apart from doing basic planes into hoplite, into Spirit Dance or something, we have the ideal draw. No,
Tom, the ideal draw always consists of Benevolent Bodyguard on turn 1.
Oh, that's true. It does counter Abrupt Decay, even though it's not counterable. Okay.
This gets a little scary. That's a lot scary.
Yeah, needs to fill the yard to get this Hogaak back, or make another creature and mill a dredge return. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's two good things to have in the graveyard, but it's not there yet. So can we make Spirit Dance big enough to attack this turn? Presumably yes.
I mean, it's very hard for it not to be very big if it's getting 2 auras.
Is there any risk Lotleth Troll races it? Not really, right? It does have trample. It could get pretty big, but
some amount. There's some amount of risk, though. It kind of depends on what Resto's decided to board in.
Mm-hmm.
If Resto decided to board in Sentinel's Mark, then there's almost no risk.
So no aura here implies maybe post-combat bodyguard or hoplite? No, just don't have anything that costs white, perhaps. Oh, we boarded in silence for the initiative, for the time walk aspect. Interesting.
That's an interesting line. I mean, silence is always... Maybe Resto thinks the matchup is much worse than I do. Isn't your last ditch?
Right. I would have thought the idea was do your thing. Will probably be anything except abrupt decay, because you'll have a 9/11 first strike haste that makes something not blocked by the time they've made a Hogaak. Silence doesn't stop abrupt decay, so it's not exciting. This bodyguard probably seals the deal, though.
We know there's not an abrupt decay, so this should be lethal this turn. If this is a Twin-Always Crown or a... maybe Ruckus isn't lethal? Yeah, it isn't. It's only 12. No, now you no longer need to sack Bodyguard.
Yeah, so it has trample now. So we're putting Oppo to 2-ish.
It means that even getting both Iona and Hogaak back this turn is probably not going to be enough.
Right, you double chump or something weird, and then you can bodyguard to get it through anyway.
You almost never can double chump because the bodyguard simply just gets sacked before attack in pro black mode, and then Iona can't block because it's the only creature with the not black. Yeah.
Yeah, so dead in multiple ways here, regardless of what the last card in hand is.
At random and win.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good matchup for red-white when it does have both colors, but we'll see on the draw, I guess. What's the dream for Hogaak? Just to make an Iona on turn 3?
Presumably.
And name probably white and hope that what you're facing down, because they've only had 2 turns, isn't
technically possible to hit an Iona on turn 2.
I wonder.
Pretty impressive.
Rubble Belt Maverick.
Revealing exactly what you need. One drop.
Grave
Yeah.
Troll, and then Golgari Grave Troll just hits the
Dredge what you need.
Dark Amoeba dredges for an Iona hand.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say that would probably beat Resto here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, see.
You did ask what the dream was.
That's a pretty good dream.
Oh.
That is turn 1 of the dream.
No.
Leaves it on top. Maybe because it's an abrupt decay, so, it might be great news. I mean, I guess it's always good news when you leave on top. Okay, so we have the Hoplite draw. This is the part of this deck that I'm suspicious of, but maybe they also have a Shram or a Spirit Dancer. Bat is going to deal with that.
Very annoying templating. We do not get to see the cards.
Oh, really? We don't? There's no way for a viewer?
It just looks, I think.
So we just get to know what they took. If it's a Spirit Dancer, it's a Spirit Dancer.
Resto's only interaction for the Deep Cavern Bat is Immolation and maybe Sideboard Path to Exiles.
You probably want Path here, do you? Okay, so they either drew or already had a Spirit Dancer. No attacks with Hoplite to trade for the Cavern Bat. I think I would have attacked there. I'm pretty happy to get my second Spirit Dancer.
I also would have attacked there. Though, admittedly, maybe just putting Rebel Belt Maverick in graveyard is just worse. Like,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
maybe just, convenient target. Here's where Abrupt
So
Decay happens.
Abrupt Decay potentially wins the game here. Anything else, and Red-White is in a dangerous spot.
It doesn't win
there
the
it is.
game.
No, but what I mean is puts
Yeah.
green-black onto the front foot in a way that they're absolutely not if they get hit for 8 or whatever this turn.
Ho ho ho!
I mean, if you see the line, you see the line.
Well, and now that I see. I assume what Resto was doing there is last turn they didn't attack with favored hoplite, so Rebel Belt Maverick couldn't put a counter on the Deep Cavern Bat.
Well, you get to assign blocks, so you would just because you needed. Oh, I see.
Well, no.
Yeah. Just sacrifice Rebel Belt. Yeah.
So green black is doing its absolute best. The rock stuck on 2 lands impression, and absolutely not showing off its combo
Lurrus.
capabilities. But looks like red white is stuck without an enabler. I mean, hoplite is an option. You can just start putting things on hoplite, right? Like, why is hoplite in the deck if you're not prepared to put
Commune?
Well,
Rebel
stuff
Belt
on it?
Maverick, 2 Snarling Gorehounds, Aftermath Analysis, Commune with the Gods. Overall, very bad mill.
If there's a land here, then Lurrus or Spirit Dancer is possible.
Yeah.
Got to attack both here, presumably. Or maybe you want to leave Rebel Belt Maverick back for life gain purposes.
Leaves both back.
Leaves both back. I don't think you're ever blocking here with Deep Cavern Bat.
Hand Hogaak. They're casting Hogaak from hand.
That makes way more sense. The old second main is to keep you guessing.
That is correct.
So it's, we're talking about jamming a bunch of things on this hoplite till it's bigger than 8/8, or path, or maybe a Lurrus and play convenient target.
If you play Lurrus,
looks like it's Lurrus.
You play convenient target. You gain 4. You get to Tillinolli's Crown. Oh no, it doesn't. You're putting it on hoplite, okay. But next turn you can put Tillinolli's Crown on Lurrus and gain 6 life back.
Because it deals the damage. No, the crown deals the damage. But it gets +3 +0.
6 power creature.
Yeah, so leaving Hogaak back doesn't seem like a winning proposition in the long term, but you can already see good attacks for Lurrus. Well, I guess
Hogaak's stuck in this position where they're forced to attack, because if you don't attack, then the Auras deck gets to grow out of control.
Right.
But if they do attack, then it allows this Lurrus to have much cleaner attacks to gain a lot more life.
So what you really want is something like a cartouche on Lurrus. Yeah, there it is.
There.
So didn't play Spirit Dancer from the graveyard first. That's interesting. So maybe just thinking they can...
They're putting Tillinolli's.
Yeah, maybe they can just thinking they can do it with the lifelink from Lurrus, and they don't need Spirit Dancer and more cards. They'll just win with these 2 highly relevant threats.
Interesting tapping. Minor punish for the interesting tapping.
Looks like it. Looks like we're literally going to lose a life for that. But oh no,
nope. We have
another Tillinolli's or a
presumably favored hoplite, though. Yes.
Yep. Looking very close.
So we have trample on both, coming in for 12. The life total is 13, gaining 7. Seems like even an abrupt decay doesn't solve this problem, and we are pretty much done.
There is slight chances that maybe does Hogaak have any way to get, like...
I mean, there's 11 power on board, but I don't know how you get 13 through with 2 or 3 mana.
It seems highly unlikely that Hogaak lives this turn, but maybe there's a... Okay. Insidious Roots, Shizo, Lotleth Troll, Deep Cavern Bat, Aftermath Analysis. None of that.
There we go.
Okay.
That's the game. Is the other one still going? Looks like
Clerics
not.
versus soldiers.
Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Let's catch up with what's happening there.
Or is it Clerics versus red deck? I've only seen Fred on red. Oh.
Fred is on some kind of humans. And looks like we just started game 3, perhaps? Yeah, just started game 3. Strong start from Clerics, and the best possible start so far for Boros humans. So,
Are we sure it's Clerics? Looks like humans versus humans to me.
I lost to
believe both of these
Akamatsu
are
in the 7th round of the Swiss, and he was on Clerics. He made a progenitus against me.
With the search for a black creature.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, it was a sad way to lose a game that you were maybe felt like you were winning in. So offering the trade here.
Does this represent a burst or a path? I assume that's what's being represented here.
Yeah, we're not offering a trade of art. Well, yeah, it's just champion for Benevolent Bodyguard, but maybe it's just too risky for.
If you sack,
Akamatsu.
you're never sacking Benevolent Bodyguard here, right? You just have to take the trade.
I think I would take
spell.
2. I don't think I would block, but it really depends on the hand, I guess.
Sacking Benevolent Bodyguard here opens you up to removal spell, getting the 2-for-1.
Right, and then they have a board. You don't have a board.
Though obviously you would much prefer to lose the Bodyguard than the Luminarch here, so maybe the risk is worth it if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these Boros humans are usually main decking either Lightning Helix and Price or just Price.
Okay.
So maybe it's a risk worth taking. Don't know about this list in particular. So here is.
This was a cleric. Nice.
Here is an interesting card. Flying Vigilance 2/3. You have hexproof. When it is dealt damage, you gain that much life. So.
It's gonna be very, very strong. Even Boros humans' best answers to this type of creature, like Heart Flame Slash and Lightning Helix, are still gonna gain them 3 life.
Yeah, and there's the Bodyguard.
And there's the Bodyguard.
And we just threw away our, one of our few creatures that can attack through this. So
Interesting decision.
it could be tough. Looking for some Boromir or some more champions. Okay, so we're gonna Heart Flame Slash this end of turn. Have that countered by the Bodyguard.
Wait, what is the 3-drop in this deck? There's not a Luris in Companion Zone.
Boromir maybe.
Boromir main?
Yeah.
Huh.
I played against Fred in the league, and they had main Boromirs like earlier today.
Heart Flame Slash. Just eat a Bodyguard. Yes.
So wait, so their list actually does have Luris. But I guess they failed to reveal it.
Is there a sideboard card that costs 3 or more?
3 Boromir.
So we brought Boromir in.
Perhaps.
That could be the case.
Perhaps. That seems worse than having access to Luris, but maybe not.
We boarded the Luris in.
It's in the deck.
Maybe. So we exchanged the whole of our Heart Flame Duelist and 3 mana for the Benevolent Bodyguard there, which is just horrendous. Pathing the Aura is very good.
Admittedly, humans is actually up a decent amount of card advantage here. Akamatsu's down to 2 cards and a Metropolis Reformer versus FredHawk's 1 more creature on board, Clue Token.
Yeah, it is the best creature, but I guess Luminarch Aspirant could argue with that. Metropolis, whatever this thing is another of many cards that feels like it might counter Price of Progress, but actually does not.
Of course, every Clerics card is brutal for aggro.
A lot of life gainers.
Okay.
Oh, it might be the least brutal, but it's
Yeah.
not good.
I mean,
That's a Cleric? I'm learning new things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is pretty even. Like good draws versus bad draws here could. Okay, that bodyguard's
I think
pretty
price
good.
is,
Price is not exciting here. Removal spells just get blanked by the bodyguard. But Luminarch Aspirant is about to make this Novice Inspector the best creature on the board.
we have essentially made our own Stoic Sphinx. This has.
Presumably all gas from Fred because he missed the land drop. Plus there's a
Well,
clue.
the card that got taken was Thalia, which seems pretty unlikely if the other card is good. Because Thalia
It doesn't
seems
do
pretty
anything.
bad in this board
Yeah,
state.
yeah. That's a good point. So are you attacking here with the 3/4? You just trade
Maybe
it for
It's a
bodyguard.
removal spell then, presumably. Though I guess you maybe make this attack no matter what you have.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
because you're losing if you don't.
yeah, I mean they risk quite a lot to block and then bodyguard the first blocker.
Yeah.
So maybe they just let it in, or maybe they're happy to trade a creature for this ever-growing thing and gain 3. Only 1 card in hand for Akamatsu, so, you know, could be Progenitus, could be Aura. Okay, they are going for it.
Wow.
So, well, presumably when they saw the hand, it didn't have instant speed removal in it, so it would have to be the mystery card or drawn off the clue. But it is the mystery card. Kind of not surprisingly in a way.
Unless it's Lightning Helix.
And now it's absolutely awful for Akamatsu.
Yeah,
Lose all your creatures
needs
for
to untap
0.
into like the 4/4 lifelinker or something.
That's so brutal. I was actually about to say that the patience of not popping the bodyguard was smart.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay, well, this makes sense then. It also explains why Thalia got taken to some extent.
okay, so
Though that's a really bad last card.
yeah, Akamatsu really living on fumes here. FredHawk card in hand, clue on board.
Though FredHawk, also a Thalia in
Oh yeah.
jail.
Presumably Akamatsu's top decks are considerably better, and they are on 26 life.
No play on 2.
No play on 2.
Okay. Well, that needs a removal spell or
Progenitus is coming down.
FredHawk has not played a creature, so it's probably a removal spell.
Okay,
Yep.
that was
Oh my
important.
god, it's Lightning Helix.
Oh, your god. It is in fact Lightning Helix. So it's definitely advantage Fred here. Got the Thalia on layaway, 2 other cards.
Though we assume there's not any creatures except maybe the one that just got drawn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and top decks for Akamatsu are much better. Shadow Right Priest, Aura, this thing.
Tabarax.
Yeah.
Though Tabarax does not currently block Thalia, but it does race, so...
Yeah, and you can chump with your Rubbishy Sanctifier to grow it.
Yeah.
And that does draw your cards. So in fact, you're probably not... Are you even interested in attacking here?
We've drawn Luminarch in either this turn or last turn.
Yeah, that was presumably the draw for the turn. So if the one... So if we have removal in hand, you definitely attack here. If you don't, maybe just trying to keep Tabarax under control. So no, draw was a plains, and we went for Luminarch. We declined to play Luminarch last turn. Or maybe we held the plains, now we decided to play the plane. I don't know.
Did we not play land last turn?
I thought we didn't, but maybe...
We did.
Oh,
We played Rugged.
so this is an intentional legend rule to get the card draw?
Yeah, it is.
And to grow the Tabarax?
I believe that FredHawk played Rugged Clary last turn.
Okay, that makes sense. So not great draws for Fred.
So Akamatsu gets to attack fairly safely because Tabarax is heavily disincentivizing an attack because it gets to grow if...
Yeah, I mean, do you want to do 5 damage or 3 damage, 2 damage in order to grow your opponent's creature, have them draw a
Of
card?
course, you're also kind of forced to do that because otherwise you're getting moted.
I mean, your deck doesn't really have a different plan, but you could wait to draw a removal spell for Tabarax while it's still got 3 toughness and it dies to Lightning Helix and Heartflame Duelist. But standing still
course,
when your
the
opponent has
longer
better
you
top
wait,
decks
the
is pretty
more-
sad.
Yeah, the longer you wait, the worse it is for.
Probably wishing we had Lurus about now would be
Yeah.
pretty sick, actually. Okay, best possible draw, or maybe second best possible draw. I wrathed with this in play in round 7 and discovered that it triggers on every cleric dying, not just on one cleric dying.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
so I wrathed, and the only thing that died was Aura. Everything that was dead came back to the triggers. I did not win that game. Not my finest moment. Okay, we boarded in Lurus along with our...
They boarded in the list.
Yeah, I mean, this is not nothing. Can make
It's
a novice inspector and draw a card. Seems pretty good. We've got good blocks on this aura. If we put Thalia up to 3 or Aspirant up to 4. And then it's just a question of drawing something to deal with Tabarax and avoiding top decks. So aura triggers on itself. So you could attack here for 4, and if they block, they get back Shadowrite Priest. I don't know if you want to give them access to Shadowrite Priest.
Putting the counter on Loris is really interesting.
So no good block on aura now,
Attack.
because we didn't put the counter on something that kind of usefully trades aura. But maybe we just can't kill aura because it just means next turn we get progenitized.
So I do think that there's like a chance that from this position, if you trade Tabarax and aura for a progenitus, then Boros humans might be able to race here. Ooh, brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I think you attack with both here, and then if aura is traded off with, then you get the Shadowrite Priest, which opens up great possibilities.
I would only attack with Tabarax because FredHawk has shown that he doesn't want to attack into the aura.
Yeah, maybe. There's two clues over there. It feels like aura dying is pretty fine for you, and opponent going to 7 is also pretty fine for you, and you gaining 3. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I like it.
It's in there.
I mean, it's obviously a judgment call, but I like it.
I wonder what playing Caves of Coilus there means. Because there presumably isn't a reason to play it other than, like, especially since Fred is on 4.
The only thing is that the priest's activated ability costs 5, so potentially you could draw anything and want 5 available, but we don't know that yet.
It did seem as though Akamatsu was holding a land for a while there.
Feels like
3 cards in hand for the last 2
I think
turns.
this might just be a we play land because playing your lands makes sure you don't get punished for not playing your lands.
Yeah, it could be that simple.
And playing it pre-combat.
So the swing back here is substantial, but
increases.
Akamatsu is on 25, so we've got to
It
find...
very well couldn't matter less.
Price of Progress is now basically a dead card. Another slight problem for FredHawk. Probably no much life gain left. Some Lightning Helixes and some Heartflame Duelists.
Only gets 7 damage here, so yeah, even double hop can't even get to drawing the game. Draws champion, little late.
You're probably just on attack with everything, chump with whatever the worst thing left is. Keep attacking with everything. Hope to draw an answer for Tabarax very soon. But it feels pretty hopeless. Might be Clerics versus Boros Auras in the final. Did not have Clerics on my shortlist. Boros Auras, sure.
I believe Akamatsu has played a very similar list in past seasons. I'm not sure what, if anything, it's missing, though it obviously gains Luminarch Aspirant.
Yeah, nice to have an actual aggro game plan along with all the value stuff and the Progenitus tricks. Okay.
Oh no, it was earlier this season that they were playing Clerics. Or
Yeah, I think they got at least 1-5-0 earlier.
Often across multiple seasons.
got a tournament win and a 5-0.
Silence showing its weakness in comparison to Orange Chant there. Orange Chant coming back with the MH3 reprint, probably,
Though,
next season.
in this position, I don't think it matters.
No, probably not.
It's just delaying the inevitable.
Can we locate drawing the game? I believe we're very short.
Yeah, we're very short. This is only going to be...
I mean, if our last card in hand is Path to Exile, we can first strike down Aura and, Path the Tabarax.
I'm fairly certain it's not Path to Exile. Because
Seems pretty unlikely.
The Luminarch play this turn.
Yeah, that was almost certainly the draw. And we're almost certainly going to the final here. Nearly 8 hours into the tournament. It's not too bad for 7 rounds in the top 8. Draws the Shadow Priest. Pretty irrelevant, but fun.
I guess it could be relevant if the last card is in fact Path to Exile. Though
Yeah.
we're fairly certain it isn't.
Maybe Price of Progress yourself to death.
Oh, I suppose Lightning Helix actually makes you live as well.
Well, they would have helixed before.
At what?
If they have a Helix, they have 10 on the backswing. No, they don't.
Oh, I guess it guarantees the backswing, huh? So
Wait.
they could rip another helix.
They do have a Helix.
Upstairs.
Upstairs, interesting.
Oh, this makes Path another out.
So they're going to 14, and they've got 9 power. So I don't know what the draw is.
I think maybe they need to shoot at the aura.
If you shoot the aura, then you literally die to second Shadow Priest coming out of the grave.
I mean, also
Tabarax
just getting Cathedral Sanctifier or whatever, if that's what you want. Okay, Thalia's Lieutenant is the draw. That's going to put enough damage to kill if it wasn't for the Shadowrite Priest back, but...
It's actually only 13.
It's 14, isn't it?
Oh, and there's two aspirants. Yeah, 14.
But there is a chump blocker.
Yeah,
so Akamatsu is going to win a shockingly close down the stretch game.
Yeah, I mean, we were stuck on 3 lands, then we just drew a whole bunch of lands, but we still somehow stayed in the game. I don't know. Lurrus was relevant.
Yeah.
I think the absence of Lurrus might have been more relevant.
Yeah, missing the Lurrus and Companion Zone there for a while.
So a lot of stuff happens here, but none of it really matters because there's a 5/5 flyer with no possible answer.
Very sad that we didn't get to see the block Thalia get first strike back the Cathedral Sanctifier to gain life before it happens.
There were a lot of choices in that game, a lot of decisions. Okay, off we go to the final.